am on a roll today. I'm gonna try and get out as many videos to you guys as possible. This is already my second video today. I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys for whoever is watching, for sticking around and watching my new content. As you guys know, or if you don't know, I was originally a smoking channel and I did content smoking weed, but I've decided I no longer want to do that. I don't really, well, one, I stopped smoking weed, I quit. You're gonna know why in this video. But yeah, it's just not the content I want to have on this channel anymore. I want to do more lifestyle, beauty, other related content that's more around my life now. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the new videos that I'm putting out. And I hope you guys stick around. So yeah, let's get into it. I wrote down some notes so I could stay on track with my thoughts, okay? So I guess we could just start from the beginning of how I even got to smoking weed. So when I first started smoking heavily was when I was 19 years old. I tried it a little bit when I was 17, 18, but honestly it wasn't really anything special, and I never smoked again until I was 19. And it was because of the friends I had, the people I hung out with smoke weed on a regular basis, and that was just the activity we would do together. And I loved hanging out with them, and I loved smoking weed at the time. Like, I genuinely liked it. And so at first it was like a social thing. Like, I would smoke in social settings. I would never really smoke alone. But because that group of friends, we would smoke a lot of weed in the sessions. Like, we would go through 3 backwoods a day, sometimes a session. And it would be like hot box, woods, like an ounce of weed. We would go through an ounce of weed in 1 week, which is crazy to me now. But yeah, we would be smoking heavy. And so eventually I started smoking to cope with my emotions, my feelings. I would smoke by myself because I was like, what else am I gonna do? And it, you know how the rabbit hole goes when you get into certain things. And so I knew ever since I started smoking weed, I knew I didn't want to smoke the rest of my life, you know. I always told myself, like, I'll stop smoking by the time I have kids, or that whole idea of like, oh, if you stop smoking before 30, your body can recover fully, all that stuff, right? So I just had it in my head. I was like, I'll stop smoking at a certain point in my life so that I can live a healthy lifestyle, right? That was my mindset all the time. And so, like, eventually my health started deteriorating. And I say that very lightly because, you know, I have asthma, and the more I smoked, especially pens, for some reason, when I would smoke pens, I would have like a breathing fit, and I would start wheezing, and I couldn't breathe. I could barely run, all that stuff. And I would just be more airheaded. My thoughts wouldn't come out as clearly as I would want it to. And I developed a stutter. Like, something about weed messed with my head to the point where I developed a stutter. And I was just like, why can I not communicate correctly, basically? So yeah, overall, I came to the conclusion that weed just no longer had any benefits to me at all. If anything, it was hindering my productivity. Like, it was hindering my health. I was so lazy on weed, and I just absolutely never ever wanted to do anything other than eat, sleep, and smoke. That was just my daily routine, especially in the pandemic. That was the routine I upheld, and it was really, like, I look back on that time and it was super unproductive. And then the ultimate reason why I stopped smoking weed is because I found God. No cap. So let's go back to that, because that's a huge statement, right? So over time, you know, when you're smoking weed, right, you like thinking about life in certain ways. Like, you just think deeper on weed, right? Everyone always looks at the sky when you're on weed, and you're like, why is the sky blue? All that stuff, right? So eventually my boyfriend got me into conspiracy theories, and I started wanting to know the truth about everything. I wanted to know the truth about where my food comes from, who grows my food, where does my money go to, who does it go to, like, what are the types of things we're consuming in general, and what is the product of who receives that, right? So I was just getting to the bottom of everything, the truths about life and the truths about our everyday. And eventually I got to the truth about the music industry. And we all know, I feel like if you listen to music and you listen to the lyrics, you know that Satan is present in the music industry, and it's all there. It's so clear in the music videos, in the lyrics, in the costumes that these artists decide to wear, right? And so I became so intrigued with that, because on your search for truth, whether you're trying to look for it or not, it comes down to a religious and spiritual aspect that I hit. Like, I hit that religious wall because I had gotten to the bottom of so many other things. Actually, I'm not gonna say that, but there are people. And so it got to me to look up the good side, right? Because if there's all this bad on the mainstream media, there has to be a good side. That I ended up watching a documentary called The Unseen Realm by Michael S. Heiser. I highly recommend that documentary, because that documentary breaks down all the supernatural occurrences in the Bible. And it talks about all the angels that appear and all the supernatural stuff that happened in the Bible, that happened to Jesus, that happened in the Old and New Testament, and all that stuff. And that initial documentary is what intrigued me about God and Jesus. And it sparked that fire in me to want to know more about that. So I started to grow in my faith, and I started watching this pastor on YouTube called Richard Lorenzo Jr. So I was watching The Unseen Realm, and I was watching this pastor, and I was watching sermons and teachings on the Bible. And eventually I was so intrigued. I was like, I have to read this Bible for myself. And so I got to a point where I told my mom, because my mom is very religious, she's Catholic. And I was at work one day. This is a small testimony of mine. I was at work one day, and I'm watching these videos at work, mind you, because you know how it goes. And I actually work with my mom. So I'm watching these videos. I felt so much conviction. I was like, I need a Bible in my possession right now. Like, I need it. And so I thought of my mom, who I know would have an extra Bible. And so I went over to her office, which is across the way, and I asked her, I was like, Mom, do you have a Bible? I was like, do you have a Bible on you? Like, do you have an extra one? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, is it at home? And I kind of said that with like keeping my expectations low, because, you know, I wouldn't expect her to have an extra Bible on hand. So I was like, oh, is it at home? And she's like, no, it's in the car. And I was like, right? And I was like, can we get it? Can I get it? And then she said, yeah, let's go. It's in my trunk. And she was kind of skeptical, because she's like, what is this all about, right? And so we go to her car. She gives me the Bible. It's actually this Bible. Hold on. Let me grab it. So she goes and gives me this Bible. And this Bible was the Bible I had in my room growing up as a kid. And I just thought that was so coincidental that this is the Bible she had in her trunk, right? I was like, that's so crazy. Like, this is the Bible I grew up always seeing. And then I flipped to the last page, and I see that this Bible is literally addressed to me, given to me by my mom in 2011. Like, I'll show you guys. Do you guys see that? Like, 2011, she gave me this Bible. And I don't even remember why she gave it to me. I have a feeling I know why, but I'm not too sure. Like, I don't want to sit here and lie. But I do remember trying to read the Bible when I was around 10 or 11. That might be around that time when she saw me trying to read it back then. I digress. But yeah, so I knew it was God. Like, I just knew that there is no coincidences, and it was all in God's plan for me, for him to call on me and, you know, to really learn about him and have a relationship with him. And yeah, I found, like, when I got this Bible and it was addressed to me and it was mine, like, this Bible's mine, my faith increased right there, because I was like, that is so coincidental that this is the Bible my mom gave me and that she had in her car all this time. So yeah, I found God. And I can get deeper into my testimony. I guess let's get deeper in my testimony. So I grew up Catholic, right? So I grew up Catholic, and in the church every Sunday, my family would bring me and my cousins to church every Sunday. And I went to church and I tried my best to pay attention. But I never knew Jesus. Like, I never knew Jesus and what his sacrifice really meant. I used to always pray when I was younger for the little things. Like, I would pray to God and be like, God, please, like, I would be 6 years old doing this. I'd be like, God, please, when I ask for ice cream from my mom, please can she give me some, right? It would be so innocent. I would ask for small things like that. Or like, I would be like, God, please can my mom get this lip gloss for me when I ask her for it? And stuff like that. So I had always prayed to God, and I kind of had like a genie bottle view of God, basically. And I only went to God for when I needed something from him. But that need from him is what made me pay attention in church, because I was like, you know, it's only right if I'm constantly asking God for things that I at least pay attention in church. So that was the relationship I had with him. It's been a month since I have come to Christianity and having a relationship with God. You know, I'm still very fresh in my walk in faith and all that stuff. But yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. I really feel the peace and love of God. There's so much power in it, so much strength and courage that I receive. And I feel so much purpose walking with God, because I feel so much motivation to upload YouTube videos, to film, to read the Bible, like everything. I feel so much motivation that I didn't feel before, which is crazy. But yeah, I feel like God has always had grace for me in so many ways, and I couldn't be more thankful. Another testimony, actually, before I end this video, is I had gotten close to getting into different religions before. Like, you guys saw, I had crystals and stuff, and I did crystal videos, and I would sage those crystals. But come to find out that crystals is actually a form of witchcraft, which I'm not even surprised, because it's kind of there. Like, you kind of see it, but you have a veil over your eyes at first about crystals, because people put it out there like it's something pretty and something cute to look at. But in spirit, it's pretty witchcrafty, because you're putting energy into a rock. Anyways, so I did my own research on this. No hate to anyone who has crystals, and I'm not bagging on anyone for their own beliefs and all that stuff. But for me personally, like I said, I was finding the truth on everything, and I got to a point where I was watching a lot of videos of people coming out of the New Age and into Christianity, and I was very curious. I saw this video from, I forgot her name, but I'll put her video here, how she came out of the New Age and how the crystals manifested demons in her life. And I remember I would watch tarot reading videos on YouTube, because I was looking for guidance on some stuff, and I would watch tarot videos, tarot card readings. And then I found out later on, maybe like a month or two later, that tarot card readings can actually be a portal for demons to enter your life. And I was this close to buying a tarot card deck, mind you, okay? And I'm so glad I didn't. I feel like that's when God's grace came and was like, nope, don't do that. Don't even try it, right? And so when I came to God and I found out the truth about all that, I took all my crystals, bagged it up, and I threw it away. Like, I threw it away because as much as I loved the crystals, like, they were beautiful rocks, and it is beauty. Like, God created those crystals with beauty in mind, but it's the power and the energy that you put into those crystals that make it bad. And so I had already saged them and did all the stuff in them, put some kind of belief in them. So I bagged it all up and I threw it away. I threw it in the garbage, and I was like, I like these crystals, but I love God. So I chose God. And yeah, I threw it all away. And honestly, there was no place for those crystals in this apartment anyways. Like, when you guys see my moving in vlog, there was no place for them. And I think that was in God's plan. Because I also prayed for this place. When I was looking for a place to move into, it was crazy. Like, the market is insane. It would be like a 400 square feet. I can make a separate video on this too, of me apartment hunting. But it was like a 400 square feet apartment for $1,700. Like, people would be charging 1 bedroom in a 3-bedroom house, so it's not even your own place, for like $1,200. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm never gonna be able to find a place. And I was this close to giving up and not even like moving out of the place I was at before. But I prayed to God and I was like, God, like, please, can I find a place that I can call my own? And, you know, I prayed and wished for a place of my own. And he gave it to me with this place. And God is truly good. So yeah, I got a good deal on this place too, by the grace of God, in Jesus' name. But yeah, so that's my little testimony. You know, I think God saved me from a lot of misguidance, or God saved me from a lot of misguidance in different religions I could have gotten into. Like, I could have gotten heavily into witchcraft had God not interceded in my life. So yeah, that's just the beauty of God that I've seen in my life, and I continue to see it. And I'm just ready and willing to grow in my faith. So yeah, that's why the content is gonna switch up. It's gonna be a mix of like Christian content as well as like beauty, lifestyle. I'm still me. Like, I feel like God takes you as you are, and he takes your gifts in terms of your talents and what you like, and he uses that to his advantage in the kingdom of heaven. So I'm just excited for the future and for what God has planned for me. And yeah, that is the end of this video. That is why I stopped smoking weed. I hope you guys enjoyed this long-winded answer of that. But yes, I hope you guys still stick around. I'm not here to, you know, shove my religion down your throat. And it's not even religion, really. I just have a relationship with God, and like anyone you love, anyone you hold high, you want to just talk about them, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to talk about Jesus because I love him. Like, you know, just like anyone else I love, I just want to talk about them. So yeah, that's what it is, you know? Take it or leave it. It's who I am now, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it served you well. Hope you learned something from it. And, you know, with this newfound purpose too, I really want to, like, I have a purpose for my videos to mean something and to help people. Yeah. That's my spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on everything I said. Let me know. And have a good day, you guys.
Sister from another mother, girl, you know I love you. Put no one above you. I cherish you, you like a treasure. You a diamond, won't fold under pressure.